It's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Well, the day has come at long last for me to go on my long promised Scotland trip. So the bike is all packed, it's 7 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday morning. I'm hoping to get up to Scotland today, and then I'm going to ride the North Coast 500 plus something. In fact, it's a route that was in MCN a couple of weeks ago. They're calling it the North Coast 767. It looks a bit like this. So it basically it goes up the west coast, along the north coast, down the east coast, starting in Glasgow, ending in Edinburgh, basically. But of course, living down here in the southeast means I've got to get up to Scotland in the first place. Bit of a trek to get up there. It's going to take me, I think, best part of the day. So as I say, it's 7 o'clock in the morning now. I've got the GS all fueled up, all loaded up. I've got the tank bag on. I've got the sat-nav loaded, I've got the route in the phone, everything's good to go. Weather forecast, bit iffy, so I'm leaving it all flexible. I haven't booked any hotels or anything. I've ditched the idea of camping, that just, basically because I'm too lazy, I just didn't get around to doing that. So I'm going to go for hotels, but I haven't booked anything. I'm just going to book stuff when I approach what I think is the limit of my day's riding. I'm not too sure how many hours I could do in the saddle. I've got a bit of arthritis in my shoulder, so I want to see how that goes before I commit myself to booking the whole loop round. I've got an alternative route if the weather changes, or if I decide I don't want to do that whole 767 mile route, then I can just do a Western Isles tour. Anyway, so that's it. Bike all ready to go, as I say. I want to jump on, make some progress. Hopefully next time you see me, it'll be tomorrow in Scotland. Cheers. Hey folks, good morning. Made it. I'm here in Scotland. Welcome to Erskine Bridge, which is just north of Glasgow. Massive day on the bike yesterday. 400 miles, about 7.5, 8 hours in the saddle. Was nowhere near as bad as I feared it was going to be, actually. I was quite comfortable the whole way, even though the weather wasn't brilliant. It rained on me a bit, but it was absolutely fine. I even enjoyed the M6, which I thought I'd never say. Once you get to sort of the Lake District and then up through to the Scottish borders, it starts to get a bit twisty, or as twisty as motorways do, and through the mountains and so on. It was absolutely gorgeous, so really enjoyed that. Shoulders didn't play up, all very good, bike went well, really enjoyed it. So so that was yesterday, just a schlep up here. So here I am in Erskine Bridge, as I say, about 10 miles or so, I guess, north of Glasgow. Pretty murky day if you look out the window. Weather forecast isn't great, so I'm having a pretty leisurely start to the day and leaving as late as I possibly can. Because the forecast this afternoon is a little bit dry, although I suspect I may well be cracking out the waterproofs at some point today. But anyway, nothing I can do about that, so that's not going to dampen my spirits, because I've got a great day ahead. When I leave here, I've not got too far to go to Loch Lomond, which will be fantastic. Then on to the spectacular views, I hope, at Glen Coe, if the visibility is okay. So should be some good photographic opportunities there, I hope. Then on to Bealach na Bar, which is Britain's most vertiginous route. I think that means it's, or inclinous, it's got a very steep climb, I think something like 20%, and actually climbs through something like 2,000 feet, which for Britain is a huge amount, with lots of hairpins, so that should be fun. And then I end up this evening in Ullapool, little fishing village, where I've just booked myself a hotel for the night. So looking forward to that. Hope I don't get too wet, and hopefully we'll get some good views if the visibility holds up. So stick around, stay tuned, let's see what today brings. So, cheerio Erskine Bridge. Quite a hotel, not the most picturesque, but very cheap, clean and functional, so it works for me. That is one loaded GS. Okay, first thing, find some fuel. Fuel stations can be a bit few and far between here. Okay, so it's 12.5 degrees, so not too cold, so that's alright. And I think we're about to go over the Erskine Bridge, which is pretty exciting, as I've been looking at it outside my hotel window for the last day. Apparently this is a toll bridge, so I don't know how much it's going to cost and how that works, but we'll find out. Tolls are always a bit exciting because they're always slightly different, aren't they? But all part of the adventure. Here she is, the Erskine Bridge, with Glasgow off to my right. And even a glimpse of the sun up there through the clouds. Encouraging. Well, I was pretty sure that I read that this was a toll bridge, but maybe I was wrong. Which is pretty exciting. I'm all for it not being a toll, that's great. Okay, next point of interest, Loch Lomond. Okay, so I've set up one of the parameters on my sat-nav as elevation. You can see we're at 120, 115 feet at the moment. So virtually sea level as we've just crossed over the bridge. It's going to be interesting to see what that gets up to when we do the Applecross Pass later on. In the meantime, let's to Loch Lomond, and hopefully I'm going to find some fuel soon. Aha, services half a mile. Let's get topped up just to make sure that I don't come a cropper later. Right, precautionary fuel stop. Ooh, another GS there. Nice choice of colour, sir. Look at that. Snap. So fully fueled up now, and just coming to the official start of the North Coast 767 at the unfortunately named town of Bolloch, or maybe it's Balloch, I don't know, but it didn't sound quite as humorous. And yeah, as I say, this is the official start of the route, and takes you up the coast or shores of Loch Lomond. So hoping it looks relatively bright over that way. I'm hoping I'll get some good views of the loch. This now is all part of a national park called Loch Lomond and the Trossachs, and just some fantastic names around here. I don't know why, but the Trossachs just appeals to me. Let's hope that later on today, as I get further north, I'm going to lose some of this traffic as well, which is the scourge of my life as a biker in the southeast, and I'm hoping up here I'm going to get some roads to myself at some point. Just can't resist. Maybe taking a picture down here by the loch side. Loch Lomond is in fact the UK's largest inland body of water by surface area, not by volume. I think Loch Ness takes that particular accolade, but this is the biggest by surface area, as I say, and it marks the sort of fault line, or the join if you like, where the Highlands and Lowlands join. And of course it featured in that song, the Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond, I think it's called anyway. You know, you take the high road and all that. But yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful, and sort of characterised by all the islands in it as well. You see, yeah, there's actually some houses on that island. Incredible. Right, I can feel a photograph coming on. Oh, this is very nice. Check that out. Loch Lomond in all its glory. Bit more sunshine won't go amiss there. So this road I'm on that runs alongside Loch Lomond is the A82, which is a relatively recent road that just follows along the banks of the loch. Pretty beautiful. Look at our elevation now. We're down at 87 feet, so obviously pretty low. Probably as low as I'm going to get on this few days tour, I imagine. And I'm just starting to get the first of the rain forecast for today. At the moment it's not too bad. Hope you can see okay. It's just enough to be a bit of a nuisance. But there you go, nothing we can do about that. It's so spectacular up here in Scotland anyway. The rain ain't going to dampen my spirits. It's one of those stand-up moments. These GoPros are so wide angle, they never give you the real scale of what you're looking at. But even on this murky day, Loch Lomond is beautiful. I really should make the effort to come up to Scotland more often. An amazing part of the UK. These roads are just getting better and better. They're smooth, windy. We're in a bit of a climb now. Absolutely spectacular. These are the roads the GS was built for. Firkin Point. Excellent. Well, this certainly knocks the Chilterns into a cocked hat, that's for sure. Well, I couldn't have chosen a wetter day to come and do my tour of Loch Lomond and the Trossachs. But hey ho, now I can do about it. Just imagine what this would be like on a sunny day though. Absolutely spectacular. Little boat there doing the cruise Loch Lomond thing. Presumably they run all summer long. even in this sort of weather. I love the fact that this is an A road. What I don't love is the fact that I'm stuck behind a car with a little option for overtaking. Still, at least it's not a white van. Impressive viaduct. Just as we're coming on now to the northern shores of Loch Lomond, and sadly we'll be saying goodbye to it quite soon, but I have really enjoyed riding the bonny banks of the loch this morning. I can see why it made the MCN route, and if you're able to come up here just to do Loch Lomond, it is well worth it, especially now the sun's coming out a little bit. Let's give you a little clean. Hopefully you can see okay. I think it might be my imagination, but a little bit of blue sky appearing, which bodes well for this afternoon and an improving forecast, which would be very nice, I must say. All bends for 350 yards, that's what we like. We'd like them even more if it was dry and we had no traffic. Now this isn't even holiday time that I'm doing this tour. I made a point of coming before school holidays, and there's this much traffic now, so imagine what it must be like in late July or August. Absolutely heaving, I would think. However, I'm quite certain by the time I get properly to the Northern Highlands, the traffic's going to thin out. I'm going to have this magnificent playground to myself. Certainly that's what I hope so. Can't get over how busy these roads are. Come to Scotland, they said, you have the roads to yourself. It's been an absolute shocker so far. I so hope this thins out soon. Okay, I'm into a proper climb now. We're still on the A82, heading towards Glen Coe and Fort William. This is near the bridge of Erskine. Although it looks a bit brighter now, it's actually raining quite hard. And the elevation, according to the sat-nav, 989 feet at the moment. So climbing up into these mountains. It's all very lovely still. Blimey, there's a railway track there. I bet that's a slow old ascent for the train. Well, it's absolutely tipping it down, but you can't complain at the views. Absolutely spectacular. I imagine this video is going to be an awful lot of me saying what a great view. Sorry about that. Desperately trying not to speak in a Scottish accent as well. Why is it whenever you go somewhere that has a distinctive accent you feel compelled to speak in that tongue? Or at least what you think is. I'm sure the locals may not think that. I say nothing but read my mind. I can't help it. Wow, look at that. That is one heck of a valley, or glen. I love the shape of the mountains here. So different to the mountains that I'm used to in the Alps, which are much more craggy. These are a lot more rounded. Big U-shaped valleys, he's in a hurry, created by glacial movement. Incredible to think that ice is what cut these hills. We might as well hope it seems to be pulling in. Thank you, sir. I don't really want to go herring around these roads, just because it's if you're going really fast then you've got to really concentrate on the riding hard and you'll miss the views. And that's partly why I've decided not to do huge miles every day on this trip. MCN for their North Coast 767 suggests that you leave 2 days to do it. Basically one coast to get up to the north, and then one day to get up to the north, and then a day to get back down again to Edinburgh. But I've decided to do it in 3 bites. If I do it in less, that's fine, but I don't want to do silly miles every day. I think on roads like this, doing 250 miles a day is probably ample, because it takes quite a long time to actually get anywhere, even on a bike. I'll tell you one thing though, I'm so glad I ditched the idea of camping. I was pretty tired when I got up here to Scotland yesterday, and The idea of pitching a tent in the rain when I got here, not very appealing. And by using the booking.com app on my phone, if you book late, i.e. when you get here, you can get some absolutely cracking deals. So the hotel I stayed at last night, although it was a bit tired around the edges, it was absolutely clean and comfortable. The food was fine, and it cost me £55 including breakfast, which in my mind is an absolute bargain. The only downer, of course, on relying on that method is you never know when you're going to get phone coverage again. So I try and make sure and book the next night hotel while I'm in the previous night's hotel, if you see what I mean. So I get the good rates because I'm only a day away, but also most hotels you can get Wi-Fi. Anyway, that's the plan. We'll see how that pans out. Oh, this is all very nice. I've just come through the village of Bridge of Orkney. I've lapsed into a Scottish accent, sorry. Which is effectively at the start of Glen Coe. And the start of some of this spectacular, quite unique scenery. So I found myself stuck behind White Van Man, which is a little frustrating. Well, I assume this must be the bridge at Orkney then. And well, yes, nothing too much to write home about, but what a place this is. And it's difficult to imagine what this must have been like in days gone by, before there were roads and pubs and cafes. Actually surviving on the land around here. It's a pretty inhospitable sort of place. Getting around must have taken forever, and how on earth the locals navigated, I do not know. It's certainly a stunning place to come in the 21st century with all the technology that's available to us. Even the remnants of a little bit of snow on the hill up there. I guess a couple of months ago this was all snow covered. I just hope the camera's getting a sense of some of this. Oh, there's a parking spot up here. Let's see if there's a bit of a view. 600 yards. Look at that, the sun's decided to come out as well. I love it when a plan comes together. Right, let's see if I can squeeze myself in here without dropping the bike. Oh yes. Oh. Me and about 4 million tourists. Wow, what a lovely spot. Gorgeous, and so nice with the sun to come out as well. Splendid. Right, onwards and upwards. Well, that was a splendid little vantage point. Couple of snaps taken there. What a road this is. As I stopped there, a number of bikers came by actually, giving it loads around here. Now, if you're super observant, you may notice something has changed in the cockpit area here. I've actually just taken off the phone on the RAM mount. I was just finding that when the sun came out behind me occasionally, it was just glinting a bit, and as I wasn't using it all the time for navigation, I'm using the Nav 5. It was just a bit in the way, so I've just taken it off to clear the decks a little bit. Plus, I tend to want to take pictures from the phone, not to keep taking it in and out of the case. It's a bit of a pain. Okay, so this is officially the Highlands, and I know that because I just passed a sign that said welcome to the Highlands. And it's interesting because look, there's lakes here and it looks relatively flat, yet we're at an elevation of 1,003 feet. So we are literally in the Highlands. Quite a unique landscape in the UK, very almost bleak, very rugged, but very beautiful obviously. Okay, this scenery is now getting into the very epic category. Once again, the little GoPro no doubt doesn't show it in all its glory, but my word, absolutely breathtaking. These people are in such a hurry. a shame to miss out. Still some snow up there to my left. It's feeling pretty cold, it has to be said. It's actually about 10 degrees, so it's not too bad. But it has called for the old heated grips to be called into service. Just wonderful. Just poke my head out. Just look at this amazing place. Absolutely stunning in this bit of sunshine now. And this is the start of Glen Coe. Not the Glen Coe, the town is at the end of the valley, but this is the glen itself. And this was recently voted in a poll in the top 5 of all of Britain's views, and I can completely see why. It is absolutely epic. Now, a few years back, when I decided I wanted to buy a sort of an adventure type motorcycle, this was the sort of thing that I had in mind adventuring to. Sure, it's nice to come up here in your car, but on a bike it's just so much more visceral. You can feel the wind on you. You can smell the, I was going to say smell the heather there, I was getting a bit ahead of myself. There's no heather anywhere. But you know, you're in the great outdoors and you feel part of it. Absolutely magnificent. How lucky am I to live in a country that has such an amazing variety and diversity of landscapes. From the hustle and bustle of central London to this, just what, 500 miles north, a day's riding away. And really glad to note, as I enjoy the magnificence of Glen Coe, the traffic has thinned out quite a treat. And it's just a real pleasure to be on the roads here. Just look at this place. You can't see it, but I've got a big grin on my face. Just wonderful. Well, I can't come to Glen Coe and not take a couple of photographs. Amazing. So there we have it, Glen Coe, properly awesome in the true sense of the word. What an amazing place, an absolute joy. And I'll tell you, riding those 400 miles on motorways yesterday, it's worth it just to come and see this. Absolutely magnificent. Right, let's get on the bike and see what else Scotland's got to offer us. So just really looking forward now to riding through the rest of the magnificent Glen Coe en route to Fort William, and then we're going to pick up the next of this North Coast 767 route. Next exciting bit is going to be Bar, which is the high road with the hairpins. Stick around and stay tuned.